take care of the football, we're going to win a lot of games. We got a lot of to clean up, right? So we got to be looking ourselves in the mirror tomorrow, right? We got to look ourselves in the mirror tomorrow and just be honest with each other. How do we get better?
How do they get better was an interesting way to start the season for sure. Fights and ejections, some lightning. Jalen Carter got tossed 6 seconds into the game before he took a snap. Plenty to discuss there. Jalen Hurts continues to do whatever it takes to win. And Jahad Campbell makes his mark in his first game with the Eagles. We are breaking it all down as we welcome you here to Birds Huddle, proudly presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL. Alongside Bear Brooks, I am Amy Fiddle. It wasn't pretty.
No.
Not even close. Plenty of things to correct, as you heard there from Nick Sirianni. But at the end of the day, it was 1-0, and that is a great way to start the season.
And we got the win, and that's all that really matters. But when we look at it, we do have a lot to go out there and take care of. But, I mean, you kind of knew from the beginning how this game was going to come off. I mean, everything just went sideways. You know, players hurt on the field, then you got the spit. I mean, it was just the perfect storm of nonsense. We've got, you know, on the radar shows it's supposed to be raining. It was torrential downpour. You know, I almost had to go out and build me an ark. And it was no rain at that time. I mean, it was just crazy how things went. Then we had an hour break in between.
It's crazy.
You know, but you know, adversity breeds, you know, a better team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is how you learn. Get your learning right now.
Yeah, game 1 rather than game 16.
Exactly, when everything has to come together the right way.
That's right. It is a win, and that's all that's really important. But, of course, it started off with an ejection. Jalen Carter kicked out of the game 6 seconds in before the first offensive snap for spitting on Dak Prescott. Here is Carter after the game. It is our bird's eye view presented by Bush Auto Group. Philly rides with us.
You know, it was a mistake that happened on my side, and you know, it just won't happen again. You know, I feel bad for just my teammates and the fans out there. You know, I'm doing it for them. You know, I'm doing it for my family also. But the fans, you know, they show the most love. You heard them out there today. You know, just not being able to start the game, even finish the game is just. Yeah, but we're gonna get it better. It won't happen again. I can make that promise.
We need Jalen Carter on the field, and like I said, we'll keep everything in house, but we have to get all these things corrected as a whole. As you guys know, I want them. You see how I coach with emotion, and I want them to play with emotion, and that's what I kind of say all the time is, but you have to do it within the rules of the game because we need everybody out there to help us be successful.
And that brings us to our three-point stance, brought to you by Toyota. Jalen Carter seemed to show, you know, I thought a decent amount of contrition after the game. He answered the questions, was waiting for the media, did not duck that. But it is something that absolutely, and he said it, cannot happen again. It's overshadowed the win on opening night. It's what people are talking about. On the night they unveiled the Super Bowl banner, Jalen Carter led his team down. You heard from Coach Sirianni. They have to have him out there. They are a better team with one of the best defensive players in the league playing for them.
And the guy he got into it with, you know, he virtually said it. Once he was out the game, it gave him that much more to play for as a Cowboy. They just knew they were going to get blown out. But then when you get this done, you know, we have a player, you know, probably out for the rest of the season. Then you look at this. I mean, he couldn't have done it in a better time. There is no better time of doing it. But I mean, we hadn't even started the game yet. Give yourself an opportunity to go out there and beat him. If you thought he was spitting at you, then you go, all right, I got you. I'm gonna see that. I'm gonna tear you up the next play. I'm coming to get you. I'm hunting you all day. Because I mean, that's exactly what Dak said. Dak said we changed the whole offensive game plan. We knew we had to focus on this young man to get it going. And because he wasn't there, they could run basically whatever they wanted to run. This is something that he has to see going forward, that how much he is needed by this team, how much he needs to be out there on that field, not just, you know, representing himself, but just representing this team as a whole. He has a lot on banking on him this year, and we have a lot banking on him this year. He's absolutely the best defensive player we have, and it goes to show you, when he's not there, this team is, you know, his defense is really lacking as far as, you know, pass rush up front and also penetration in the run plays. So he's got to be out there more. You can't make dumb mistakes like that. And I'm just saying this, as an owner, Mr. Lurie, you know, he thinks of the gold standard. I hope this doesn't, you know, put him in a position like he's saying, all right, you know, can I invest in this young man? Because he's probably going to be one of the highest paid defensive players.
You mentioned banking on.
You know, in the NFL. So You know, can he bank on him not making these mistakes? Can we trust him going forward? I hope this doesn't push from that because he's a great player, a great young man, but he's made bad decisions this game for sure.
Well, that's the thing. The book's out on him now. They know people can goad him into
They're going to wind him up. They're going to try every single opportunity to make sure they get him off his spot.
Got to be on your P's and Q's. Let's check out some positives because there were some from last night's win. The Eagles' offense was really unstoppable in the first half. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns led by Jalen Hurts, who picked up where he left off the last time we saw him. That's when he was winning the Super Bowl MVP. You'll remember. Right. Here's Hurts after the victory.
We were efficient. It came down to execution, and we were able to do that. There's, like I said, there's so much unknown. We didn't know what they were going to do or be, what this iteration of that defense would be under new leadership. And I think for the most part, we did a good job of doing that. We got to play better in the end of the game so we can close it out on our terms. I'm proud of the team. I'm proud of everybody weathering the different adversities that came our way today. And it's always good to get a win.
You're going to rock that Mr. T starter set there? I like that. Hurts looked great last night, the chains as well, but really looked good on the field at times. Not huge passing numbers, ran for 2 touchdowns. That second rushing touchdown was a thing of beauty. It showed his speed, his power. Hurts did what he had to do, and that is matriculate the ball down the field and get points. So if anybody that says otherwise, I don't think they watched the game. If you just look at the numbers, they seem average. But when you watch the game, he was such a formidable force on the offense.
I mean, it has a lot to do with KP, the offensive coordinator. He said whatever they need to do to win, he's going to call a game to win a game. We don't always need to be pushing the ball down the field. I know a lot of people are upset that A.J. Brown didn't get the ball. I know A.J. Brown's upset. But we got to look at what the defense was doing. A lot of times they were in man-to-man, and they try to, roll coverage over to A.J. So they're going to stop him. They understand he's probably the most explosive weapon on the team. He may be the best weapon. I think Saquon is that. But he's the most explosive. He can make the most difference when you're playing defense against the Eagles. So what they do, as soon as they went man-to-man and they were rushing the passer and he could see that these guys matched up with everybody, he would then go out there and scramble and gain, yards and, score touchdowns. Depending on what the defense was doing, that's how he played it. So it's not just, KP calling the plays. It's also Jalen understanding what's in front of him. Even on the second touchdown, when they ran, it looked like they were in zone, and they were in zone. Even when Smitty came across the formation in motion, usually somebody follows him when it's man, but they turned into man protects because it was matchup zone. As soon as they came out, receiver came out, they latched on to different players. He saw that, and that's how he was able to go out there and score that touchdown because everybody's back was turned to him. Those are things, that people aren't saying and they aren't seeing because you got to sit down and watch the tape. You got to understand what's in front of him in order to understand why he's doing what he's doing. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a lot of passing yards, but it didn't need a lot of passing yards because they were very effective in every play they played.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun to watch, certainly at the beginning, because they answered everything that Dallas gave them.
Everything, yes.
That's what you wanted to see.
Exactly.
On the defensive side of the ball, it was the biggest question mark that we talked about all summer long with camp and everything else.
The biggest. It's still the biggest.
It's going to continue to be.
Right.
Dory Jackson, we saw, got the start at cornerback opposite Quinyon Mitchell. It did not go well.
No.
It did not go well at all. Jackson did not establish himself as the guy to be, I would think, even the continuing starter. But after last night's performance, Vic Fangio says he gets a long leash. We'll see how long it is because Jackson targeted 7 times, allowed 5 catches, 5 first downs. One of the incompletions was actually a drop by wide open CeeDee Lamb. Probably another one. He allowed over 100 yards and also had a pass interference penalty. Besides the kitchen sink, what else didn't he do? I saw the back of his jersey more than I saw the front of it, which is never good. And the Cowboys picked on him like you knew they would.
Offensive coordinator Adams knew where the rubber ducky was. We wanted to go out there and get the rubber ducky, and that's what Jackson was. Say what you want to say. He gave himself a C when he graded himself. I can't say that I'm going to give you a C. I'm going to give you a D-. I'm not going to give you an F because you came back. You made a nice little deflection at the end of the game with CeeDee Lamb. It was a big play. But even in a run fist, he came down, turned his back on a guy trying to block him. All that stuff leads up to you not being as effective in his defense. This could be a great defense if somebody steps up at the outside corner. I don't know if it's going to be Bennett, Ringo, whoever's going to be, McWilliams. Somebody needs to step up because whoever that is, they're going to target them. They're going to game plan them. They're going to make sure they know exactly where that rubber ducky is. And wherever he is, they're going to try to go out there and create matchups. And that's exactly what they did. They picked on Jackson all night. And I've been in that position before. I started left tackle. And I can remember them sending the guys over to come against me, Mr. White, guys like that. And they're going to make sure that they have somebody there that can create an advantage. And that's exactly where they saw the advantage was. in Adoree Jackson. So he's got to step up, or somebody has to step up, because we cannot go forward and play defense like we played this last game at that position.
It's a tough feeling for him. He knows their target. I mean, you see everything. The ball's coming again. Yep. Right to you there.
I mean, he's walked. Oh man, look who's in.
Again.
Come on.
Yeah, they might have to make Quignon a bit more of a rover or something.
Right,
we'll talk about that coming up. But we got the playbook for you, and it's presented by Supercuts. So much happened last night that we haven't even talked about. You mentioned it briefly. We'll get more into A.J. Brown being targeted only one time. We're going to hear from Birds receiver on that. Todd Campbell did not disappoint in his first NFL game. Could last night's Lightning also have an impact on maybe a domed stadium here in Philadelphia?
Super Bowl here, okay.
You never know. This is Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL.